Almost half.
We're nowhere near where we should be in car sales.
I didn't have to think about it at all. It was something where I was doing what I was passionate about, and I was following my own star. I was following my lead. This was my grandfather. I was a slumdog chaiwala to this man. I learned everything there was about passion and cars. This guy owned the Indian Motorcycle Company for 12 years. He was the person that crowdsourced a cure for rheumatic fever. He wrote the first newsletter that I had ever seen in my life. This is him buying the Indian Motorcycle Company. This is the Rogers Roundup. 1940, he had a pure expense line on the line of his company that said, I'm going to connect with the world, make my employees, make my customers, and make my company famous across the world. But not only that, I'm going to ask for feedback. So they used to run quizzes in the Rogers Roundup. This is Newsletter 2.0, if you think we're doing Web 2.0 new, or if you think you're blogging. This was a guy who sat quietly in the back of the room and spent money to make sure that he was connected on the front lines. He was the true Mr. Rogers, if you will. And he stoked my fire for cars, and he gave me the curse. He gave me the curse of Preston Tucker. Somebody who really wanted to do something for cars and said, damn the torpedoes, I'm going to make something happen. The first moment where I realized that I could compete, that I had credibility in a world that was very much not the world that I was born into. And that was joining the U.S. Marines. And as I was in Iraq, I found that there were so many things about this world that I had knowledge of, having traveled, having learned, having studied, that I wanted to paint on a bigger scale. And after 7 years of dutiful service to the Marine Corps, where I was on the front lines of the Marines, I realized that I was being called to a greater service. Cars across the world and light trucks alone use 70% of the petroleum U.S. or petroleum global end use. I knew that there was something that I needed to do about that, and to combine a passion of mine with a passion for leading and doing something good in the world. It was time to make my second step and go forward and bring that credibility into that world. And so I left the Marine Corps and I went back to the world that I knew to train. Effectively, it was my tutelage. I went back in and I went to Harvard Business School to learn the things that I did not know about how to make a business successful from a point of view of finance, marketing, sales, operations management, entrepreneurial theory. And I did that for 2 years, all the while baking my plan to be able to come in and start a revolutionary American car company. And we're here to build a company that allows our customers to take part in a revolution that makes cool cars.
How does open source work with this? In other words, you say you guys decide what the design is. Where's the open source aspect of your business?